So in the past 18 months, being financial crimes, we obviously see a lot of different technology, different crimes involving credit cards. And what we have seen is a large amount of credit cards. This data is taken through compromise at point of sale systems, data breaches, email breaches, and criminals create credit cards. And then they obviously go and purchase things. Now, over the past 12 to 18 months, we've seen purchases at gas stations. Usually that is for 15 or 20 gallons. It is to fill a suspect's vehicle. But what we started seeing was an increase in large purchases of fuel. And when I say large, I'm talking about 100, 200, or 300 gallons using multiple cards. So once we identified this, we worked with our partners and we set up surveillance techniques, and we identified that these vehicles that were filling up this fuel were not normal fuel trucks. They weren't big fleet construction trucks. They were modified vehicles. They were vans, they were pickup trucks, cars, flatbed trucks, vans that had modified fuel tanks, some of them overt, external, and some covert, internal, inside the vehicle. And then once they would fill up this fuel, sometime using multiple cards, they would transport these vehicles to single-family residential neighborhoods throughout Clark County. And then from there, they would offload this fuel to other citizens' vehicles, or they would put it into large storage containers inside of backyards, sometimes in excess of 1,000 gallons of fuel, being diesel fuel or gasoline. And what you see on the screen is a lot of the arrests that have made in the previous 12 months. But we need the public's assistance, and we need them to understand that this is not just a law enforcement problem. This is not a problem that rests with LVMPD. This is a problem that affects all citizens of Clark County.
These containers are not designed for the purpose that they're being utilized for. These intermediate bulk containers to store flammable liquids on the outsides of buildings or sometimes on the inside of residential properties, that is not their intended purpose. So that in itself creates a safety issue for us. And on many instances, or in almost every instance that we have seen, there's not an appropriate way to retain fuel if there were a fire or a leak of any type from an emergency regarding one of these residential storage locations. And that creates a problem for us. If we did have something like that, it could potentially, it creates a significant risk to the public and to first responders that would be responding to these types of incidents. If it were to extend down driveways, extend fire down through the gutters and to other residential properties.